All right. Hello, all, and welcome to our February Code Jam stream. I wanted to say good morning to everybody on the call and also good morning to everybody watching. My name is Tiffany Hall. I'm an alumni of TripleTen's software engineering program. I'm currently a full stack engineer at Scholastic Inc., which is the world's largest publisher of children's books and a digital powerhouse in providing online education services now too, which is pretty rad. I also own my own company, Rylex Custom Works, and tonight I also get the added benefit of being able to be the host. Well, not tonight, this morning. Clearly, we need more coffee on this stream. But all the same, while I'm getting more coffee, we'll go ahead and continue. I am really glad to see so many of you guys could join us. I've already chatted a little bit with our participants, and it's very early, but we are very excited. Let's talk about what a code jam is. Okay, so for anyone watching that might be new, a code jam is a friendly competition that occurs between our students during their normal coursework. These are very short competitions where the groups of students get together and they jam out a bunch of code jam. So we give them a prompt or a problem to solve, and they meet that prompt. There are, of course, prizes for our participants, but there's one thing that most developers are competing for, which is the one thing that all developers want: a clean Jira board. Just kidding. That's not what they want. They want pride. Pride is what we're really after. When you're learning new code every day, nothing feels better than like crushing your classmates with all of your newly earned knowledge. So, in our friendly competition, we have two parts. There's a coding part and a presentation part. Our participants were divided into teams of four. We have three presenting with us today, and we challenged them to create a minimum viable product, an MVP, so that they can assist citizens in their local community or in their area of the US in celebrating spring season, preparing for transition of the season. We are really looking forward to seeing what they were able to come up with. I know in the briefing session, there was a lot of really fun ideas kind of tossed around. Today, all of the teams are going to get a chance to show off their projects to all of you out there. And then the judges will spend the next week reviewing them and evaluating both the code and the presentation. We're going to post our results on Discord and on Instagram on March 11th. All of the students who are watching can participate by voting for their favorite project on their Discord channels. And if you're not a student of ours yet, then you can go ahead and vote as one of the viewer members down below in the chat, in the comment section, and you can vote which one is your favorite. So now it's time for the fun part where we're going to go through and we're going to introduce the teams. We're going to see what kind of amazing things that they have accomplished in 4 days, just 4 days. All right, so we have our first team. Our first team is PB and Jam. PB and Jam consists of Lala Blue, Anna Valisleva, Jennifer Sukut, Jerry Jackson. So from PB and Jam, who will be presenting?
It's gonna be three of us.
All right. All right, who's going to share first?
Jerry, could you share your screen?
I thought you were going to share the idea first.
Yes, but I thought that will
Yeah, I can do that. Give me in.
So I can start. Hi everyone, we're the PB and Jam team, and we're thrilled to introduce you to Seasonal Sips. It's a web app that shakes up your cocktail experience by blending local flavor with seasonal flair.
Ooh.
Yes. Our story begins with a simple desire to connect people So our story begins with a simple desire to connect people with their communities through the magic of cocktails. We believe each season offers its own unique essence, and Seasonal Sips aims to capture that through refreshing recipes and a vibrant spring-inspired design. Behind the hood, we used reusable components to create a smooth and intuitive user interface. This not only makes the app a joy to use, but also allows us to easily add new features and keep your seasonal sipping experience sparkling. And Jerry is gonna walk you through the app in action.
Also, no, am I unmuted? Yeah, I'm unmuted. Also, we learned about teamwork through the Code Gym by embracing the asynchronous communication that is Discord. Uh, allowed us to keep the project flowing, but we started out on this landing page. This is all done in React. Uh, there should be a search bar here, but it is not showing for some reason. We didn't quite get everything visible, but you would put your zip code in or your address and hit the find libations button, which libations is another word for drink. Um, and then it brings you to a list of potential ingredients. In a perfect world, the alcohol would be by itself, and then the other ingredients would be separate. Uh, you would select these, and it would give you a list of drinks curated for that particular ingredient. And these will change as the seasons do, as well as all of the theming for the site. Um, this is one of the cards. They're not completed, but it will show 5 of these at a time. And when you click on one, it should expand and give you a image of the drink as well with this on the surface, but it gives you the ingredients and whatnot. And you would hit a button that would be at the bottom here to get a map in this box to the nearest location that either sold the ingredients if you wanted to stay in, or to a location that actually served the drink if you wanted to go out. And if you chose the latter option, it would give you a button to share that map in those directions with your friends so that you could all meet up at a local establishment that you had never been to before and enjoy a cocktail. And of course, the important part, all of us. And that's what I have.
Marvelous. Is there
So
another
much, Jerry.
presentation person?
Yeah. All
Or
right.
we
So Seasonal Sips is still evolving, but the foundation is strong, and we're excited to have some new features brewing, like all those interactional buttons. We're really proud of the clean and user-friendly interface and the power of the reusable components for future updates. We actually put some designs hidden for the different seasons, so everything changes according to the calendar year. And that's really cool. Yeah, Jerry's showing some of our other designs that we've got. Um, and speaking of the future, we have some other cool features in mind. We like them to be able to find different recommendations based off of the options nearby for their drinks. We also have some non-alcoholic options, of course. Um, and then at the end, we hope to have around 60 available drink options divided into those 4 seasons. We believe Seasonal Sips has the potential to become the go-to resource for cocktail enthusiasts everywhere, helping them discover local gems and savoring the flavors of each season.
It does have one additional feature that we forgot to talk about, and that is the fact that these 4 seasons that we're talking about, it's automatic when it changes because we have the program logic to make it change on the first of the quarter every month, which is the meteorological season, not the American season. And Europe and other places use that instead. And that's it.
Fantastic. Very excited about that. Seems like you guys had a lot of fun with that. Um, I would like to ask a question, and anyone from the PB and Jam team can answer. I was curious, um, what did you think of the skills that you've learned to this point? Because I know you guys are on different points with TripleTen that helped you most with this code jam.
I was in the August Code Jam. And on the August Code Jam, I was the new guy on the street. I didn't know anything, and I still found a way to make a difference for the team then. Now I'm on the other side of that equation, and it's difficult on both ends.
Okay. All right. Anna, Jenny, do you guys have any thoughts about that? Not about it being difficult for Jerry. I mean, we can just assume it's difficult for him if he said so, but about you guys specifically.
I think honestly, I'm only on Sprint 7, so still getting used to basic JavaScript things and refactoring and all that good stuff. So mostly I relied on like CSS for, I mostly focused on like just making sure it looked good at different screen sizes and were how they should be on the Figma design. So I think that was one of the most helpful things that I was able to use.
Marvelous.
Yeah, same thing with Jenny, but also it was cool to work like in GitHub, how like you synced your forks, you like did a pull request. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
fantastic. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Jerry, you've seen a lot of growth in your own skills. And it sounds like what you experienced at the beginning, where you were kind of the new student, seems like Jenny and Anna also are finding ways to still contribute, even though they're still in the earlier parts of the program. Oh, that's pretty rad. All right. Well,
I am proud of the entire team, so that's all that matters.
no, Uncle Jerry. Okay, so that is PB and Jam again. That consists of Lola Blue, Anna Slava, Jennifer Sukat, Jerry Jackson. You guys did an amazing project with your seasonal sip. All right, we're going to move on next to Scripted Sprouts with Avery Morgan, Ryan Kazal, and Svetlana Kovakina.
Yep. Hi, I'm Avery. Ryan is my teammate who's here, and then Sveta wasn't able to make it today, but just want to shout out that she was a huge contributor, obviously, to this CodeJam. So that being said, before I kind of show our process, I just wanted to give a little background about why we decided to go with what we did. So we decided to go with a spring to do website/app. So when there's the warm season coming up, spring, there's so much to do. And there's so many different parts of our lives that might affect. So we might have goals of cleaning out our closet. Maybe we want to do some composting, gardening. Maybe we have some goals to hit new coffee shops or different, spots in the city, or wherever you are. So as you can tell, that hits a lot of different parts of your life. And so what better way to keep track of all that than a spring to-do list, and having a one hub that is super customizable for people to see all of the things that they want to do to get ready for the warm season. So I am going to share my screen and show you the design that we were going off of. So here we've got the Figma design, and this was designed by Sveta. And let's see. So first, how did we kind of go through and divide the different parts of this project? And I know we're just looking at the design right now, but we decided that Sveta would do the design. And then because we were all in different parts of TripleTen, we kind of focused on what we felt most comfortable with. So I tended to focus on the HTML and just getting the foundational structure of our site built. And then Ryan kind of focused on the CSS and media queries, making sure that it had a responsive web design. And then Sveta made a lot of the changes to make sure that it became functional. So making sure that the button actually created a template form. So as you can see, we've got different types of to-do lists. This is the default option. We've got the button over here. We've got your name, the date, and then the weather. And then we can see all the different media queries at different sizes. And then if we scroll all the way to the left, this was the color scheme, the buttons, and some of the interactive changes that we wanted to see. So we started with building out the design first, and then my part of the project was building the structure. So I'm just going to switch over to the actual product. So this is what we built. My part was focusing, again, like I said, the structure. So I focused really hard on this HTML and building out a solid template form. So when this button gets clicked, this is really where I started, making sure that this had a solid structure, that we were following BEM naming conventions for all of the different elements, and making sure that these were the correct type of input. So we wanted this title to be super customizable, so you could change it and add in spring. I am now going to hand it off to Ryan to talk about his part in making the HTML stuff become prettier. Ryan.
Thanks, Avery. So first of all, good morning, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. After we laid out that foundation for the HTML, we wanted to style the project. So we wanted to make the colors a little softer, not too poppy, but a little more functional and easy on the eyes. So we settled for those softer tones, nothing too crazy, and making it want it to feel like an app. We didn't want to have those sharp boxes, like those old, government kind of look. So we kind of softened those corners with, border radius and all those softer edges. And that's really what helped us make it feel like an app, make it look like an app. Unfortunately, Sveta wasn't here to make it, but because she handled a lot of the JavaScript, but I can go over that as well. With our good old friend Flexbox, we had a lot of some trouble, but not nothing we couldn't handle. So it was able to, we have everything, in a lot of things in Flexboxes. The lists are currently in a grid. And then we have, all the styles in the back and this simple white background. For the JavaScript, Sveta was a real rock star for this. She did amazing stuff for us. So whenever you want to add a new list, you can go over here, just click on this button. It adds a new list. You want to delete something, it goes right away. We have this very simple basic layout just to get you started. So if you wanted to do school work list or just school work, you can choose your date. And let's say we want it done by next Wednesday. It's our Wednesday deadline. Oh, the dreaded Wednesday deadline. So we want to study, enter, it's on there. We want to code, it's on there. Whenever we cross off a task, we want to click on it and it crosses itself off. So, and then whenever we're done with the task, we can just get rid of it. And with the help of Sveta's JavaScript, we were able to use some APIs. We stuck with a modular JavaScript because only me and her were comfortable with React. So we wanted to make it easier on everybody else working on the project. So we use the APIs to fetch weather data based on your location, the day, and we just have this Hello Emily as the simple, just the template for now. But so far, this is what we have for JavaScript and CSS. I think we did a really great job on it, and definitely got a lot of teaching moments, a lot of learning moments from each other. And yeah, that's basically our project. Oh, forgot to mention the media queries. That was the big showstopper for the CSS part. When we go in here, obviously we're on a wide screen right now, but because it's literally an app, whenever we want to flex it or stretch it, squash it, it adapts as you go. Forgot, maybe I should share my screen. Oh no, Avery's got me covered. Cool. So yeah, That's awesome. So yeah, as it goes, it squashes, it stretches, and it does its thing on the fly. Media queries were a big part of that. So essentially, that's our project, really. I mean, I don't really have much else to say. It's a great experience learning from everyone and working with everybody. This was a great time. I missed out on a couple first code jams, but I'm glad I joined this one. So thank you guys.
Yeah, I'll echo Ryan's point in that I feel like I learned a lot, even if I wasn't always getting direct feedback from my teammates. I was constantly kind of looking at the recent commits and seeing, okay, what did Ryan do? What did Sveta do? So definitely learned a lot from my teammates. And then Git, what is it? Git pulling and Git pushing was definitely a learning experience when we were all working on the same branch. So glad that I got to practice that, and I'm excited to do kind of more of that as I do future code jams.
Awesome. That's fantastic. What part of the app was your favorite to create?
I'll start with that. My favorite part
Yeah.
was definitely the media queries and styling it, because after Sveta made the design, we really fell in love with it. We were like, oh, this looks perfect. Like this looks like something you would really have like on your phone. And it could be a lot if you have a bunch of lists everywhere, but that's kind of the point. Like you want to have it organized. You want to be able to take care of tasks as you cross them off and remove the list. But the best part was like really designing it, making it come to life for me. It was great tackling that CSS. With the crunch time, I wish I could have helped out on the JavaScript part because it would have been another great practicing moment for me. But definitely handling all
Next
that
code
CSS
jam.
stuff
Next
is great.
code jam.
Next code jam, a couple of months from now. Next one.
Yeah.
My favorite part was probably the forms. I mean, that was my main focus. And it felt like I was really solidifying some of the things I recently learned from Sprint 3 project around the US. It was a lot of similar skills that I had previously struggled with, and I felt like I had a little bit more understanding of what I was doing now that I was kind of following a similar path, but changing some things. So it was fun to see some of that improvement and some of that recognition as I was adding the form.
And Avery, for the people who are watching who are not familiar with the different chunks of how we kind of lay things out in Sprint 3, what are some of the skills that you guys focused on?
Yeah, Sprint 3's focus on responsive web design. So that's really so that is a little bit of like the media queries, making sure that you're setting your website up for success. So if people are viewing it on a tablet, that it's not getting all kind of squished in a weird way, but that it's reacting to those screen size changes. And a lot of that dealt with cards. So the forms kind of act like the cards in that project. And the project is almost like an Instagram where it's a picture and then it's got a location or a kind of description. And this time I was working with the form.
Oh yeah, my when I was in the program, the group that I was in, we were all building on the same Instagram kind of card-based framework, and so it was really amusing to see students from all over the world like popping up their different pictures. So that was quite amusing during the sprint. I remember that one fondly. Thank you guys so very much. Again, that was the team Scripted Sprouts, which is a very cute name. And that is Avery Morgan, Ryan Kazal, Svetlana Kovakina. Next is going to be Flower Squad. That is Jessica McLaurin. Jessica McLaurin, Chad Casey, Anaya Brown, and Christopher Ledesma. Flower Squad? Anyone?
Let's get into it.
If you're talking, oh, I see Chad. I see Christopher talking, but I can't hear him.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Perfect.
All right.
All right, Chad, take it away.
Am I in charge of sharing my screen? Maybe I can't see it.
I cannot see your screen currently. So if you think
Okay.
you're sharing, you're wrong.
No. So I was wondering, for some reason I was under the, for some reason I thought that you guys were sharing the screen or something, but I can pull it up. Sorry. All right, I guess you can see. Can you guys see that I'm in dev mode? Yeah, I think that's present on the screen share. I guess that's okay. I guess it's
Yeah.
okay because I can resize the page. But so our project, we named it the flower bed, and it's a pretty simple design. We didn't have a Figma design like everyone else. That probably would have been a logical first step. But essentially, our website is just designed to allow people to know what flowers they can plant in the spring. So we essentially just picked a couple flowers that could be planted in the spring, and then we added them in as cards. So you can see here's our header, here's our cards. We made some pop-ups, which I'll demonstrate when I get to my section because I was responsible for making the pop-ups. And then at the bottom, we just have our about the flower bed section and a footer. And so with that, I'm going to hand it off to Jess, and she can jump into her section, which is the header.
All right. Thank you, Chad. Hi, everyone. Thanks again for joining us today. So in the header section, we got to showcase object positioning, a glowing animation around that sun in the top right corner. You'll see some span accent for the flower bed just to get that different color to kind of make it pop for the title. And we also were able to do a color gradient just to make for a more welcoming introduction to the flower bed's website. Within the inspection tool, you'll also see that the website has a responsive web design with those media queries. That way, you'll be able to use a desktop, tablet, or a mobile device to see the site. And as an added personal touch, we also included a custom logo and a favicon icon for the website as well, just to add a little touch to it. But yeah, and go ahead, Chris, for your section.
Yeah, so on my section, I was supposed to do the cars, so make it so dynamic. We use grid, so as the sizes get shrinker, the images get smaller. I also use display flexbox to make sure that everything gets aligned and straightened. Did a little bit of the JavaScript as well. So on the buttons, when the show more, Chad did a couple of the pop-ups right there, which I'll let Chad explain how he did that.
Oh, Chad, I think you're muted.
Okay, sorry. I've been doing that over the course of the last days, but the pop-up, you can essentially click on the show more button and a pop-up comes up. It's very similar to around the US at this point, or most of the people in here have done this project. So pretty simple, just position fixed, center it on the page. And then in the way of responsive design, there was actually nothing that I really had to do. It's kind of like the idea that your website is responsive until you make it not responsive. So because I didn't put any fixed widths on any of the text elements or the photo or the button, it essentially resizes without me having to do anything. So yeah, it was all around pretty straightforward. Actually, I did make the text smaller, I think at around 400 pixels. So besides that, it was pretty easy to implement, and yeah, no problems there. And I'm going to hand it off to Anaya.
Hi, I made the about section and footer section, and I wanted to match it up with the header, so I added the gradient to make it look cohesive. The about section is just thanking the user for coming to our website, and it tells the user what they can find on the website. I also added hovering effects for the icon and links, and for my media queries for mobile and tablet, I just made sure I used display flex and made sure to center the elements so they can look right. I'm going to pass it back to Chris now.
Yeah, I think we all did a great job on it. We learned a lot from each other. It was it was pretty fun. It was very fun to get through everything. I feel like everybody did an amazing job, and the responsive design was amazing to figure all that out. It's great how adaptive from the different screen sizes were. And I think that, it's pretty simple. We would love to get more, but since it was like a 1 week thing, we didn't have that much time to add in more things to it. So we just decided to create something very simple, small to describe the history. And yeah, I think it's pretty for 1 week, and so I think it's pretty all right.
One
I
thing
love
I'd
it.
like
I think
to
you
say
guys
to
did a great job. Go ahead, Jerry.
One thing I'd like to say to all of you, you don't have to stop working on this project now that the competition's over. Implement those new features you have ideas for and use it in your portfolio.
Yeah,
Love
yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's a really great point. Especially because when moving into the professional world, right? Everyone is moving on sprints, and it's about having the smallest chunk that you can actually complete in a time span, and then being able to build and iterate on that. And so being able to show that is a really amazing thing.
Sorry, I just can't
Christopher, I
stop
do
being
want
a
to let
tutor.
No, it's good. Christopher, I want to let you know that in the chat, there's a man named Steven who is a big fan of yours. In the YouTube chat. So please make sure you check that out. I think you'll enjoy that. All
It's
right.
time.
So yeah.
Yeah.
That is the Flower Squad with Jessica McLaurin, Chad Casey, Anaya Brown, and Christopher Ledesma. I am going to just kind of review again. We had PB and Jam, Scripted Sprouts, and Flower Squad. So again, our teams only had 4 days to work through these code jam expectations. So they've done a really amazing job, especially considering that all of the participants are in different places within the software engineering program. So that is all of the presentation for our February Code Jam. So thank you so much for all of you watching, especially you, Stephen. You're very active in the chat, and I appreciate you standing for your friend. So the results will be announced on March 11th at 10 a.m. in Discord if you are a student of ours. And if you're not, then you'll need to check out our Instagram where we will post those as well. The viewers can list in their YouTube chat which presentation was their favorite, and the students can also list in the Discord what their favorite presentation was, and our viewers will have a special gift also from TripleTen. I want to say a special thanks to everyone who helped organize this Code Jam. Andre, Larissa, Alyssa, Olivia, Natasha, Nadia, Yulia, and then of course my cat Sharkbait, which you can't see right now because he's probably looking at the birds. It's early in the morning. Thank you again to all of you who participated, and you came on and really had a lot of courage and displayed your bravery in presenting. I know that 4 days isn't a lot of time, but I'm really just always so impressed with how much you guys are able to accomplish in such a short amount of time. And I think everyone watching will be as well. Again, my name is Tiffany Hall. You can find me at Tiffany Codes on Instagram, and you can find my business, RilexCustomWorks.com. You can probably find my cat by his food bowl. And other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.